So I'm Brendan Greene, or PlayerUnknown, and I'm creative director on PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So as creative director, I outline the overall vision for the game, be it the overall art style or gameplay elements or even level design. So I work with the design team, with the art team, and other teams internally to deliver on that vision. So as a modder, you kind of implement everything yourself. I did everything from video editing to art assets to even some coding, even though I'm bad at that. But as a creative director then, and being a visionary, as they say, it's learning how not to micromanage teams and trusting your team to do the job you assign them. It was a big step for me, but now the team I have is wonderful and I trust them with my baby, which is Battlegrounds. The last year has been tough because due to having my name on the game, I have to travel a lot for conventions, and I really like visiting conventions to meet with fans because, you know, giving them an opportunity to come and say hi and listen to their feedback is yeah, it's super important to me. So as I said, we have a great team, and being able to travel and trust them to, you know, do the work. And, you know, it's the modern age now, right? I mean, between OneNote and emails and Confluence and a few other tools, I can keep quite an easy eye on what's going. So not quite so hands-on as the first year, but yeah, definitely still involved. You know, single player games, you know, the amount of work that goes into some of them, like Horizon Zero Dawn and Zelda, you know, the just amazing level of detail and quest systems that, you know, they don't require many updates, you know, they have a fully complete product, whereas games like us, where we are literally game as a service and it's something we want to upgrade, like CSGO has done for the last 15 years, you know. So I don't think it's necessary, but I think going forward, you know, I think more and more games will look at, you know, trying to continually upgrade, especially for large-scale multiplayer games. We have an amazing community team. I mean, they comb our forums, they comb Twitter. We have a data and analytics team as well, that we have like an internal weekly report on just text mining, where they will show us what people are talking about and how the overall community is feeling about certain things. But, you know, we've been doing open development for nearly 2 years now, ever since our very pre-alpha, where we showed a game off that we shouldn't show off. You know, this was a prototype, but as a result we have now this kind of very intricate kind of feedback system where we have our not dev leaders, our community leaders, and they give us very valuable feedback, and it kind of like this nice big tree of feedback now that all filters back to the dev team. Yeah, so with me it was a game that I wanted to play. You know, I loved the idea of DayZ, that it was this open world, the rules of the world exist, but there was no story, there was nothing for you to do, only for what you wanted to do yourself. And I love this idea, and that's what really heavily influenced me with creating a Battle Royale game mode, that there was no game mode, or there was no game, so to speak. It was a blue circle, and how you played that game was up to you, giving you the freedom to play however you want, if you want to play passively, aggressively. So, you know, I've been doing a lot of talks lately about my story, and I think one of the two of the games that really heavily influenced me were Delta Force Black Hawk Down. It kind of opened my eyes to the possibility of modding, and how user-created content and user-created maps and game modes could really give life to a game over many, many years. And also America's Army, because it really made you value your decisions, because if you made a stupid decision, you died, and then you had to wait till the next round. And I love that in games that punish you, and really, you know, if you don't play well, it goes, no, well, you start again. And then those kind of games really heavily influenced me creating Battle Royale, or the Battle Royale game mode, because I wanted a game mode to test players, to really, you know, go, okay, this is a hard game, and, you know, it's going to take you time to get used to it, but it's worth it when you get that chicken dinner. Like, I grew up with Doom and games like that like Duke Nukem, and those games were hard, you know, even on easy settings, they were bloody hard. And I love that. I love that frustration of like, okay, this game is challenging me. It's not just telling me to press one key to watch the final cutscene, you know, that kind of attitude towards, like, I don't know, it's almost like, you know, you're aiming to make a game for everyone rather than for people who really like hard games. And I want to make games for people who like hard games. Like, I recommend this a lot, is like, look at Arma. If you want to make a 3D game, like in any kind of a shooter or any kind of that kind of genre of, look at Arma, look at modding. Because modding a game gives you the ability to use someone else's assets, use someone else's content, and create your own story or game mode. And it's very easy to do that because you don't have to worry about a lot of the intricate coding or creating models, and that outlay is very expensive, especially when you're trying to create a game. So looking into modding to test a game mode, I think, or to test an idea, is a good step to get into it, to see, okay, do I enjoy doing this? You know, when I first started creating mods, I found myself not playing the game anymore. I was like sitting on the server making sure that everyone was having a good time, you know, thinking about how I could make the game better or how I could make it more interesting. And, you know, so for me, I think modding is a very good intermediary step between going full on game designer and, you know, not doing anything. So, you know, I'm very much an like ARM evangelist almost, that it's like, go and try it. You know, in modding communities, it's amazing. Like the amount of content that's out there. Like in Arma, for example, you've got whole maps that are made by like a single person, and these are wonderfully detailed and textured maps, and they really give you so much content to work with. The maps that some of the users, like Boscada is one of our more popular maps in Arma, and it's just wonderful. I mean, it feels like a real world. Whoever developed it has put many hours into it, and it just feels like a real world. But I mean, the ultimate bit of advice I would give is like, just make a game you want to play. You know, it's like, that's what I did. I wanted to make a game that I wanted to play, and it's the same with my next game or any game in the future. I'm going to make a game I want to play, and you know, it's not about fame. It's not about trying to sell 40 million copies. It's about, because even if it's not a success, you still have a game that you will enjoy playing with friends, right?